Hey there, hi there, ho there, and how the heck are you? I'm Diego, the gaming gamer who games, and today we're going to be talking about engines. I had a really nice joke planned out about 351 Windsor, 351 Cleveland, etc., but I've recorded this take so many times now that I'm just going to leave that joke out. We're talking about game engines. Please work this time. Please. Anyway, the argument goes Bethesda Game Studios has used the same outdated Gamebryo engine since 2002 when they released Morrowind. Not to argue semantics, but Gamebryo did not exist until 2003. Prior to that, it was known as Netimers. That may be a small distinction, but it's one I feel is important, since the whole argument seems to be based off of creation engine is just Gamebryo, saying otherwise is semantics. Any road, moving on. The argument continues that Gamebryo is incapable of producing AAA quality games because it's so outdated, and it shows because the same bugs that are in every Bethesda game are still in every Bethesda game because the problem is the engine. That's not how that works. That's not how any of that works. See, Gamebryo is capable of making good games. Don't believe me? Catherine, Bully, Divinity 2, Sid Meier's Pirates, Civilization 4, Dark Age of Camelot, Empire Earth 2, Epic Mickey. I'll let you decide if that one was good. I think it was garbage, but that's just me. Interesting thing about all of those games, not a single one of them has any of the same bugs that Bethesda games have. Makes you think, doesn't it? Well, if the engine isn't the variable, that only leaves Bethesda. Now, I'm not saying Bethesda as a studio are bad at what they do. I'd argue they're one of the top, if not the top developers of first-person open-world single-player RPG games. And having just said that, I can already hear the comment section exploding with, "What about CD Projekt Red? What about The Witcher 3? What about Nintendo's Breath of Wild?" And I say to you, they're great games. And CD Projekt Red is a developer that knows their stock in trade is open-world single-player RPGs. But I don't go to CD Projekt Red to create a character to play as. I go to them to play Geralt of whatever you pronounce the thing. It's been a while since I played the game. I'm sorry. I don't go to Nintendo to make a character to play as. I go to them to run around as Link. I go to Bethesda to play Fenric, the harbinger of the companions and champion of Meridia, who falls in love with a vampire. Go figure. I go to them to play Jimothy, the fresh-faced vault dweller who really don't care that Liam Neeson went missing after he sees the state of the world above. I go to them to play Shadow Weaver, a Dunmer prisoner who witnessed the death of Emperor Sir Patrick Stewart, and then rather than worry about sealing the Oblivion Gates, he decides, heck with it, let's steal an Elder Scroll. I go to them to play Ivan, a former U.S. Army soldier who watches his wife die and his kid get taken, but finds hope in the Brotherhood of Steel, only to be ejected from their ranks because he saved a synth. So yeah, I'd say Bethesda's still on top in that regard. Any road, back to the argument at hand. We have established that the engine is not the issue because other games made with Gamebryo don't have the bugs that Bethesda games have. What we have then is a company that has a tool and has a basic understanding of how to use it, but either lack the skills required to properly implement it, lack the time required to properly implement it, could be the case with some of their insane deadlines, or has figured that since the modding community has saved their asses time and time again, it will always be the case. I'm sure, though, that being the internet, none of it's going to be good enough for you. Okay, imaginary person I'm arguing with as I record this, I'll do you one better. If Gamebryo Netimers, the engine used for Morrowind, is the exact same engine as Creation Engine X.0, why then are there modders that have been working for literal years to port Morrowind over to Uldrum's engine? If it's the same engine, shouldn't they just be able to upload everything? Like drag and drop? Why are the modders who have worked for literal years to port Fallout 3 in New Vegas to Fallout 4's engine still trying that? Shouldn't it just be drag and drop? I mean, I'm just saying. Plus, the engine's not the issue. Modders have proven time and time again that most of the bugs present in Bethesda games can be fixed without access to the source code. That's very important. They don't have access to the base code of the game. They only have the creation kit, the SDK, whatever you want to call it. And they've proven, time and time again, that, quoth Howard, the engine just works. Hell, even with all of the bugs Bethesda puts in the game, because we've established earlier they're the reason for the bugs, 60% of the time the game works every time, after the modders get done with it. Stability is up, crashes are down, frame rates are mostly stable, and with the graphics mods that have come out, I can make it look bloody friggin' glorious. Screenshot, screenshot, screenshot. So what's the takeaway here? Bethesda's the problem, not the engine. In fact, the creation engine, from what I can tell, is the most stable iteration of all of the engines they've used thus far. And that's the thing, I already hear it. You said they weren't the same engine. I said the engine isn't the problem. That said, if you say the engine used to make Fallout 76 is the same engine used to make Morrowind, you need to get your head checked first of all, and then you'd best also say that the engine used to make Unreal Tournament in 1999 is the same engine used to make Postal 2, Bioshock, Bioshock Infinite, Vampire, Kingdom Hearts 3, The Outer Worlds, We Happy Few, Duke Nukem Forever, and so on and so friggin' forth. Amen. Every last one of those were made in various iterations of the Unreal Engine. It's the same bones, just a new skin, according to you guys. Or, we can do the Cry engine if you prefer. Far Cry is the same engine as Crysis, is the same engine as Crysis 3, is the same engine as Monster Hunter Online, is the same engine as Sniper Ghost Warrior 2, is the same engine as Kingdom Come Deliverance, is the same engine as Prey. They're all iterations of the Cry engine. To be fair, I think Sniper and Kingdom Come are actually in the same iteration, being CryEngine 3, just different point whatever number. Want to go again? Let's do the Rage engine, the one Rockstar uses. It's the same engine they've used since 2008's Grand Theft Auto 4. That's right, the same engine was used to make Grand Theft Auto 4 as Red Dead Redemption 2, per the logic used that Bethesda's using the same engine as Morrowind. So please, for the love of all things sacred, and some that aren't, educate yourself on what a game engine is and how they actually work. New games are usually made in new iterations of the engine. The engines are the Elnathay. They are the earth bones. They're the foundations of each iteration that comes after. It's basically the same base, new coat of paint. Every engine, that's the way it works. Creation engine is a modular C++ library. So on a very basic level, it's an iteration of Gamebryo. But it is no more the same engine as Gamebryo as Unreal 4 is to Unreal 1. Here's a fun exercise for you. Go check out Gopher's Does Bethesda Need a New Engine video. He gives a nice thought experiment. Try it. Links in the Hoojiwatsits. Zarek Zakharon did a video going way more into detail about the engine behind the engine than I did. Links also in the Hoojiwatsits. And lastly, here's a nice little one for you. It's a couple of blog posts about how much Gamebryo is in actual Bethesda Game Studio games via breakdown of the EXEs. 2 blogs by Peter on corrosive truths. And you guessed it, the link's in the Hoojiwatsits. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to join me in this. I hope you found it educational, entertaining, or just plain amusing. Don't forget to leave a comment. Give me a pity like. Let's see if I can get this video to 10 likes. Isn't that what YouTubers are supposed to do? And subscribe for more content. I'm trying to get regular with uploads, but you know how it goes with real life and a full-time job, so you may want to do that Solomon Snell thing with the bell so you get notified whenever I update a new video. I'm hoping to go for twice a month, and right now I've put 1 out a week for the past few weeks, but I do have a job. Thanks again. I've been Diego the Gaming Gamer, and I'll see you on the other side. Screenshot, screenshot, screenshot.